Shabbat Shalom. When Philadelphia was established in 1682, the tradition was that a bell would be rung to alert people of a proclamation or of civic danger. A new bell was commissioned in 1752 and arrived in Philadelphia. It's, as we know it, the Liberty Bell. It was inscribed with the pasuk, the verse from this week's parasha, Behar, Ukaratem dror ba'aretz l'cho yoshveha, yovel hi ti'eh lachem. That part wasn't on the verse. You shall proclaim liberty throughout the land for all its inhabitants. And the verse continues, it shall be a jubilee year for you. The bell was rung for the first time, the bell called the Liberty Bell, and then on the second time it was rung, it began to crack. Over time, despite the attempts to repair the crack became enlarged and was never fully repaired. We arrive on the Shabbat with an alarm bell of civic danger. That freedom is not being proclaimed throughout our land. It is cracked, and our hearts are broken. Sarah Milgram and Yaron Lashinsky, full of life and love and purpose, were attending an AJC event at the Capitol Jewish Museum on Wednesday evening, and as they left, were murdered in cold blood. They were shot down in the prime of their lives, just before becoming engaged. There's a crack in the bell of liberty throughout the land. Dror, the word that is often translated as liberty or freedom, is a rare word in the Tanakh. It actually is only used once in the Torah itself. And so commentaries try to understand its meaning, because most of the time when you have a word that is unclear, they use other times it shows up in the Torah to glean the meaning. So there are many, many different interpretations about the meaning of dror, the meaning of freedom or liberty, as the aspiration for what society is meant to be, as exemplified in the Jubilee year, which is, of course, the 50th year, where all slaves are released and the land goes back to its original owners. Dror, freedom, according to Rashi, he cites in the Talmud, Rosh Hashanah, where it teaches that a free person is one who may dwell, dar, like in modern Hebrew the word dira, apartment, wherever they please, and who is not under control of another. Freedom is then the ability to be housed and have a home to sleep in. Oh, this freedom doesn't ring here in this land. It is cracked. Dror, liberty, according to Emek Hadavar, is the ability for soldiers to return home from the battlefield. Freedom is then the ability to not stand guard for fear of war or danger. Freedom then is a state of safety and the ability to be at home and secure. Oh, this freedom does not ring. It is cracked. Dror, freedom, according to Ibn Ezra, refers to a small bird, a swallow, which in Proverbs is called dror, that produces music, a song, when it is free. However, if it is taken captive, it refuses to eat and starves to death. Freedom, then, is the ability to be fed and nourished and to sing a song openly, to soar and fly as a human being without fear of captivity or restriction. Oh, this freedom does not ring either. It is cracked. And the Zera Kodesh, Rabbi Naftali Tzvi Horowitz, teaches that liberty, dror, is when you can go back to the essence of who you are, the shoresh, the root of who you are, who God put you on earth to be. Oh, this freedom does not ring either. It is cracked. Sarah and Yaron were not granted the freedom of safety or the freedom to be fully themselves because as Jews or Israelis, they were targeted in an anti-Semitic assault with the assailant yelling out, "Free, free Palestine," attending an event whose speakers were actually devoted to providing humanitarian aid to those in Gaza and the surrounding areas. We are cracked. We are broken. Our freedom is compromised. Our society, our country, Israel, our world is in danger. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. But with every ring of the bell for civic danger is also the ringing of the bell to make a proclamation. Ukaratem dror ba'aretz l'cho yoshveha. You shall proclaim liberty throughout the land to all its inhabitants. To make a proclamation that a free society, a nation of liberty, is one in which people can walk on the streets and not be afraid, can have a home and live and be safe in it, to be fed and nourished, and to be able to be fully who we are, Jew, Christian, Muslim, Israeli, Palestinian, white or black, to sing and soar and be fully who we are, as long as it doesn't compromise the freedom of another. The Pnei Yehoshua writes that the proclamation of the verse, Ukaratem dror ba'aretz, does not only address the slaves who are freed, but it says, L'cho yoshveha, to all the inhabitants. Because in any country where freedom is incomplete, even if this is the case with only some of the people, all people are enslaved. Oh, how Sarah Milgram and Yaron Lashinsky embodied that hope in their very stories. They were pursuers of peace and justice. In this broken world, they were ringing a bell toward a new story. May their memories be for a blessing. And may we, even in our insecurity, even with our fear, proclaiming the bell of civic danger, not lock ourselves in or cower to our fear. For a bird who is locked up can no longer sing and starves to death and dies. We must stand tall as Jews. We must sing our songs and chant our prayers as Jews. We must be guided by our Torah and our highest values as Jews. We must gather in our synagogues and our institutions as Jews. But we also must ring the bell of freedom for all. Only when we aspire to the larger dream will the danger diminish. And may we see the day, as it says in this week's parasha, in Parashat Bechukotai, we're in a double parasha. V'natati shalom ba'aretz, u'shechavtem ve'ein macharin, v'hishmati chaya ra'a min ha'aretz, v'cherev lo ta'avor ba'artzachem. I will grant peace in the land, and you shall lie down, and no one shall be afraid. I will give the land respite from vicious beasts, and no sword shall cross your land. Ken Yehi Ratzon, so may it be.